Hello everybody. In this video, I kind of wanted to address some topics where AI use can be acceptable in essays and when it shouldn't be used, and kind of just for AI literacy, right? Because that's important. AI is growing. It's grown hugely in the past 2 years, and it's probably not going to stop anytime soon. So I have a document here. I don't know. Let's just name it AI examples. Now, Claude is my writing bot of choice. My name's also not Johnny. This is different account. But um so okay, let's just ask AI. Let's say you're trying to write your Common App essay. Now, obviously don't do this. Okay, don't use AI to fully write it, right? We'll get more into what it could be used for later. But let's just say write a compelling personal statement, and let's say 650 word limit for the Common App, um yeah, to for my college application. Make sure it responds to one of the Common App prompts and shows good qualities about me. Now, we can use, well, there's two different versions here. If you have normal Claude and then the free one, that's just what I'm going to use here. But, you know, for writing, I mean, for anything, the better one's better. Especially for outlining essays, definitely. And if you wanted to write an essay for you, I suggest using that one, but it's not free. So let's just have it write this. Let's see what it says. Okay, let's see. I'll be right back. I'm going to give it an idea. So I've crafted a prompt here. It's not a very good prompt, and I'll explain why in a minute. But so I tell it, it says here, just say some things about yourself, and I say talk about how I felt left out as a child, which is, I don't know, it's a pretty common topic, so not something I'd recommend doing. But this is just for an example, so it's okay. And then I talk about how, well, I'm white, middle class, and there's no hugely significant stories in my life for this, just to give it some more context, so it doesn't accidentally put in any wrong things. Um, and then how I came to accept to embrace my identity, and then a metaphor, use a metaphor of something, and how through personal stories make one up. AI is all right at making stories up. It's not good, and you'll see kind of what I mean here. And so I'm just trying to think okay, how would someone who isn't interested in writing their essay themselves write a prompt? Now, the thing is someone who's actually trying to do this might ask the AI to write a prompt and then use that prompt to ask the AI again to write the essay. Because the AI will write good prompts for itself. But still, I mean, just don't use AI to write an essay. Um, so let's see. So it gives us the prompt, okay, and then it tells a story here. Now, immediately, if I was an admissions officer, there's some things I notice, okay? And my teacher talks about this too. M dashes, ignore or avoid M dashes at all costs, okay? You may write like that, but you're not writing the personal statement or these essays. You're not writing them for yourself. You're writing them for a professional audience who looks at hundreds of thousands, well, maybe tens of thousands of these essays yearly, and they see these M dashes and all these things all the time, and they know what an AI generated essay looks like. Now, from what I've heard, the admissions officers, they don't use AI detectors, just because they can be unreliable. But you read so many essays, it gets to a point where you understand. Okay, well, this is AI, right? This is just common AI phrasing. Um, Now let's see. So M dashes, okay, immediately sets me off. Uh, and then starting with so I started like starting with something like this, right? Not just saying I started borrowing frames that didn't belong to me, but starting with a word that doesn't have to be there. So I noticed that like GPT kind of does this a little more, like just skimming through this. Um, but a lot of the time, it'll kind of be like dot 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 dot, a sentence, and it's like, but like a whole new sentence. That's like, but this has never stopped me or something, and like there's no need to start with but. Why are you starting with but a new sentence with this? Like unless you actually, unless like it's actually intentional. But there's no reason to start with a new sentence like this. So the point is, these admissions officers will notice if you're writing, like your teachers, admission officers, they'll notice if you're writing like with AI. And it's very hard to turn something from AI to human, and like without writing it yourself. And the reason is because nowadays AI detectors, even though most like places don't use them, AI detectors, they have a thing where it's like a mixture. It'll tell you if something is a mixture of AI and human. So like you write something with AI, or you have AI write it and then you edit it. Now, um can admissions officers tell? Probably, because if the AI detectors can tell, then it's very likely that the admissions officers can tell. But anyways, so this I just read this. This sentence sounds terrible. So let's like go through this paragraph. So it's talking about a story. Uh, classmates were reaching for big stories, popular stories, like their own stories. Okay, and you wrote about a time when your dad and well, I guess I don't know why I'm saying your, but my dad and I spent 45 minutes trying to assemble a bookshelf, got frustrated, left it, and then returned to finish it in silence. Somehow understanding each other better through shared stubbornness. Now, this line is just weak. There, like, if you're looking at this, there's no need to write this in your essay. But the thing is, like, I mean, even if you're writing the essay by yourself, you'll still probably make mistakes like that. So let's write this. Let's put this. Whoa. Let's put this. And so some grammar issues, uh, which are well, strive to get away from the grammar issues. Now, okay, so we have an example of a bad essay here, um, where it has like standard grammar, standard stuff, standard writing, that you would normally find in AI. There's not really a voice, um, and you can kind of tell, like if you just read it more. But let's see what happens if we say take the same story and make a paragraph by paragraph outline, so I can type up my own version. Let's see what it does. Okay. Now, this is where it gets better, right? This is now this is like kind of borderline. This is where I would say like AI is kind of hazy. It's kind of hazy on whether you should use it or not. So we have our Google Doc, and we have these. Now, the thing that's like hazy about this, okay, it tells you opening line, introduce the metaphor. Now, see, like that's okay because it's just like, oh, okay, well, introduce it. It's not telling you how to introduce it. It's not telling you like what exactly to introduce. It's just saying introduce it, how like you want it to, pretty much. And then the thing is where it comes here, like describe feeling ordinary in middle school. Now you did tell it. Well, I guess the prompt was about, well, say that you felt ordinary in middle school, but the thing is, like, does the AI want to follow what you want to do? Because you might want to go in a totally different direction than the AI, and That's something that's not really like, well, obviously it's not detectable with AI because it's just a styling. Well, it's not really. It's basically a styling difference. And so you have this, right? It's like, well, what if I don't want to talk about the feeling first? What if I want to talk about the examples and then the feeling? Well, I mean, okay, you just switch it up. So Knott has mentioned 2 to 3 classmates who seem to have more interesting identities or backgrounds. Now, the thing is, like, it's kind of backing you into one example here. Like, it's backing you into thinking about talking about classmates. Like, for this example, one thing over, maybe you have countless stories about how you felt ordinary, um, and you'd rather talk about those. But the issue that a lot of people have with AI, and especially nowadays, I won't even say that I'm like free of it, is that like once you use AI for anything, like even if you're using it for like math, right, like something completely unrelated to writing, then you become reliant on it. You can't really think like, how do I do this in a way that AI is like not telling me? And it's difficult. It's difficult when you've been using AI for so long. So, like, you might look at this and you might be like, well, I don't think that's a strong example, but I actually have no idea what else I talk about. And that's like just kind of an issue with AI. But then you ask it for another example, and then it keeps giving you examples. Um, but then it goes down a rabbit hole, right? Because at what point are you or moving away from yourself and moving towards AI? This is kind of why I don't like outlining like this with AI. Um, like, do, do, do. Like this is basically telling you exactly what to do. I mean, obviously you'll word it yourself, but it's literally telling you what to do. Like that's not, it's not you being creative. It's not your voice. Yeah. So now, like, this is, I don't know, this is kind of similar. Like, talk about a specific moment that sparked change, but that's not a bad idea, right? For this type of essay, especially, that's not a bad idea. So I think it's okay. Now this like literally gives you a quote, um, and that can be bad because maybe you're like, well, you can't think of another quote, like kind of the same thing that we were just talking about. Um, and then the rest of this, I mean, kind of, I don't know, kind of normal, right? Um, Nothing here is like, it's not out of the ordinary. This is what I would expect from an AI, like outline, but it just takes away from your creativity. Like that's the problem. And creativity is such an important thing, especially when writing like these essays, right? Because the whole point is be creative and tell me something about yourself in a creative way. And if you can't do that, then like just why, you know? So anyways, right, there's that. So I wouldn't suggest using an outline like that. I would say maybe like guide me. I would say guide me. I'd say I'm thinking about doing this in the essay, and tell me whether you think this is good or bad, and or what I could replace it with. But the point is that when you phrase an AI question like that, you're the one coming up with the idea, not the AI. So it's good, right? You're using the AI as a tool and not to think for you. So you're like, let me type something here. So I just typed about this thing here, something a little silly, right? I'm talking about thinking how I felt like a coral in a coral reef. Now let's see what it says. I would hope this would say it's bad, but I mean, you can write about it. Oh, I guess it thinks it has potential. That's another thing with these. Okay, no, this is very important. When you use AI, they want money or they want users, both really. And so what the AI does is it'll do things to flatter you. And this is like something, right? I think this coral reef metaphor would be weak. Like you're gonna compare yourself to a coral in a coral reef. maybe if that's like a central theme to your essay, but in this essay, it's not. Um, but instead, um, like it's saying it has potential, and if it was me, I would scrap this instantly. But the AI wants you to like feel good. It wants you to feel good, and so that's just what it does. Now, it does do a good part here. Like, what does a coral mean? Like, how would you talk about it? Not everyone knows much about coral, right? So, and then like make it immediate, make it clean. And the thing is, it gives you these options, right? And the options aren't necessarily bad, but now it's giving you lines, and this is still taking away from your creativity. Um, so yeah, like it's just you have to be careful when using AI. But basically, what I would do is do something like this. This is what I would resort to: is using a prompt where you've come up with something, you've come up with how you want to write a certain thing, and you ask it if it's a good idea. You don't use it to come up with the idea, and you don't use it to write it. Especially, don't use it to write it. That's like number one, no, no. But that's really it. That's all I have for this video, and thank you guys and have a good day.